the Mighty Elstow podcast. Oh, beautiful. That's how to begin a podcast. The late, great Ronnie Ranald there, sounding off with his classic Mockingbird Hill. People say, tuning in, that not much has changed in the world since our last podcast, which is back in September. Well, for me, the showbiz world was rocked by the sad passing of Ronnie Ranald back in January.
God bless his soul.
How did Tinseltown choose to commemorate this? Well, they didn't, did they? They moved on as if nothing had happened. I mean, there was a quarter of a page of the Telegraph commemorating the great man's death. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the late Ronnie Ranald, although he may feature at some juncture. We are here to talk about our cricket club, which is Elstow Cricket Club. We are a Bedfordshire-based club. And we're on the march, frankly. We've had a really good pre-season, post-season, winter season, which we're going to expand upon later. I've got with me Phil.
Good evening.
Our new first team captain, our club captain. Welcome, Phil.
Thank you.
And Kiwi Jeff, our visionary. Just without whom none of this would be possible. Good evening, Jeffrey.
Evening. How are we doing, fellas?
New second team captain.
New second team captain. Good Lord, and me as well here. And I've had a bit of an upgrade as well. So here we go.
All hail.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got one or two things to get through on this evening's agenda. We have got an agenda, although you wouldn't believe it, all 85 of you who tuned in last time. And we're very grateful to those 85 people, although I fear me listening to it 4 times we're probably about the late 60s, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, something like that. But still.
It's good. So if we can get to 86 listens this time, then it will be a victory, no matter how hollow. So we have an agenda, and we will we'll get onto that as and when. But so welcome, guys. Phil, you very kindly put us up this evening. Fantastic lasagna you dished out for us.
Special recipe.
Yeah, it was. Jeff, did you pick anything out from this lasagna that Phil dished up for us?
Oh, it was beautiful. The special ingredients were lovely. It did miss the odd cherry tomato.
Yeah, the elephant in the room. Now, Philip.
They are the devil's child. Cherry tomatoes do not happen in my house, thank you very much. You will not be having one while you are here.
Do they scare you?
They do give me nightmares occasionally, yes.
Do you know what gives me nightmares occasionally?
Not Brussels sprouts.
Russia. Russia gives me nightmares.
Disgust.
Surely not on the cricket pitch.
No, not on the cricket pitch.
No, but generally.
On that point, China. China.
Are we talking about the country or our mate that we met in Sri Lanka?
No, the country.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
okay.
Jeez. We had a live bit tonight in his honour. The country, they tried to introduce cricket into their national curriculum. Now, if you think about 1.3 billion people, billion youngsters, the youngsters learning cricket.
I bet they wouldn't struggle to put out a second 11 like we did last year.
No, they wouldn't.
No. Anyway, sorry.
No, just I think because they valued its, they saw its values and its discipline and its spirit and ethics, and they thought, wow, what a great game. I don't know how they're getting on with it, but
might be a bit of a culture clash.
Maybe.
Unfortunately, there are tad issues with corruption in China.
Really?
As there are all over the world, and come on, let's move on from politics. Let's move on. We're not here for politics. We're here to talk about your lasagna film. No, we're not. But anyway,
sorry, Brussels sprouts, bacon, and black pudding with the special ingredients.
Antonio
Cornuccio. It was pretty epic, if I might say so.
Antonio Cornuccio, if he had died, he would have turned in his grave. But because no one in their right mind, when they were coming up with lasagna, would have put black pudding in the recipe. But it worked. It worked really well, didn't it?
I know. It was. I would almost say it is becoming of a blind Italian chef.
Seamless. We will come on to that later. I would say before we move on to the main agenda, and if I can bluster even more, that's the equivalent of putting beetroot in your burgers, Jeff.
Oh, what an addition! Beetroot, eggs,
incredible.
Kiwi burger,
incredible.
Anyway, nearly as good as a lime milkshake.
Anyway, right. So chaps, lots to get through tonight. He says. almost convincingly. First of all, let's talk about what happened twixt last podcast and this podcast, apart from the demise of the late great Ronnie Reynolds. People tuning in there saying, Ronnie Reynolds who? I mean, let's have a serious think about what sort of guff goes on television these days.
I mean, next to be Conway Twitty. I mean,
we can't afford Conway Twitty. I'd have played us in with Conway Twitty, but no. If his family got wind of the fact that we were doing it, they'd have sued us.
Maybe.
But whereas, anyway. The first one, chaps, is let's talk about what happened between that podcast and this podcast.
Well, we had an AGM. The club had an AGM. Few minor, major changes. Obviously, the personnel, 3 of us tonight, changed.
The friendly face of despotism.
Yes, something like that.
There we go.
It's lovely to get voted at an annual general meeting when you're the only attendees at the annual general meeting.
No, it was well attended this year. It was great.
It was well attended.
It was.
Thank you for all those club members that turned up.
It's great. What's really good, I'm sorry to cut you off in your prime there, Phil. What's really good is we've got... there's so many new people getting involved with the club.
Absolutely.
That weren't there 2 or 3 years ago. We've still got the hardcore of the club that have got Elstow, running through their veins. But it's great that more people want to get involved in it. And I'd like to think, not necessarily, clubs up and down the country would have got onto the medium of podcast to convey this, but it's great to see more and more people get involved. And seriously, there's a cricket club near you that needs you to get involved, so come on down. It's all right, it's great. Anyway, pre-season.
I mean, it's been going well. The youngsters, I'll tell you what, some of the youngsters are coming on leaps and bounds. I've been doing a lot of coaching, as is Jeff, and it's great to see. It's fantastic to see. Bearing in mind that Jeff, 7 years ago we didn't have any youth at the club, and now we've got 4 burgeoning youth teams, but also some of them are on the verge of getting into the county side, and it's cracking to see. Really, really good. There's some of them that are absolutely loving it, that turn up every single week and are now not too far away. Some of the boys that started with us 7 years ago, or even some of the more recent boys, are now thinking about places in the second and or first team.
One of them wants to play for the first team so much he wants his own cap. That's brilliant. I think we've got a new, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new attendee to the podcast. Breaking news: our vice president and groundsman Ben Wisson.
This could be interesting. He's going to take a little while to get through here, I think.
He is taking his time.
Has had a long day.
No,
this is live breaking news when you get it as to Ben Wisson's arrival into the kitchen. Anyway,
other than that, it's not really been. It's got cold. It's got warm again, hopefully, and we're now only 6 weeks away from the cricket season, I think. So we're very, very close. I think we will crack on and see what happens from now on in.
You're laughing because you've seen Ben, haven't you?
No, I haven't seen Ben yet,
okay.
but we'll do very shortly.
Yeah, the lambs are frolicking. We haven't seen Ben yet. And the youth are all right. Pre-season we had, or last autumn, we had some kids. Here he is.
Evening, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Very marvellous.
Absolutely.
How are we all?
Oh, very well.
Mint.
Very
Mint,
smart.
mint.
Mate.
How are the Houses of Parliament?
I didn't get to see the Houses of Parliament. Merchant Taylor's Hall is in fine fettle.
That's good.
And I think I might need...
Do you want a glass of wine, mate?
Water?
Yeah.
You can take that, mate. Present.
Love you all.
Love you too, mate.
Cheers, Ben.
Our Vice President Ben Wisson there.
And there we go. Well, so that was.
So that was good.
Apologies for that interlude, listeners. That was a very amusing part of our evening.
Moving on, boys. And it was lovely to see Ben there. He's had a great day out with some of our other vice presidents and our second team vice captain. So the indoor season then, talk us about that.
Okay, well, what a season for both first and seconds. I'll try and be nice and brief. The indoor season is a great. The indoor cricket for Elstow, we've pitted up against on a Sunday morning against some of the best cricket clubs in Bedfordshire, which is a brilliant position for us to be in. But the likes of Flitwick and Dunstable. And Ampshill first teams, to play against them is a great honour for us, and we did particularly well as we did a couple of years ago.
Right? We did really.
We did, and we showed just how far we've come and how much of a great cricket club we are, because we ended the season being county champions.
Fantastic.
Woohoo!
And yeah, it was just incredible. We managed to, with 2 games to go, we needed to beat the 2 best teams, Dunstable and Flitwick, who, but us being a village ourselves, we're playing against 2 well-established cricket clubs with 3rd and 4th teams and being towns as they are, and it was just incredible for us to be to just dominate the dominate the scene.
People listening, I mean, Bedfordshire, we're not. I mean, we're a minor county, aren't we? And I mean, and so you're trying to quantify this. If I'm listening and I play for, I don't know, if I play in the Bradford Leagues or for Pudsey Collins or something, you know the structure in Yorkshire, and it all feeds into the county. So, well, Bedfordshire are a minor county. What feeds into that? Town sides. What feeds into that? Village sides, and that's all we are, really, isn't it? And with those sides, I mean, you've got some really good players,
incredibly good players.
Obviously, everything's sort of academic, but Flitwick, Dunstable, Ampshill.
Well, that penultimate game we played against Flitwick, we needed to win. We were complete underdogs because we played against, bearing in mind there's 6 players indoor per side, and we played against 4 minor counties players, or former minor counties players.
We're just a little
and
village.
We're just a little village, and there's none of us that played minor counties at all, obviously. And we won. I wouldn't say comfortably, but we were.
No, I'm
the better side. But we were the better side, and we won the game, and we were there. But just had an email from Dean from Abu Dhabi.
Have we?
Yeah, and he said he's just said to us, because I think he must have seen our tweets. He said, "How did you come to win the indoor county league by scoring an 8 off the last ball of the game?" So I'd just like to elaborate.
Well, Dean.
Question.
Dean from Abu Dhabi.
Funny you should ask that,
because
Dean.
obviously
and thank you very much for your question. We do hope you're listening, Dean.
Sorry, I didn't get your surname, Dean. I can't reply to you because it was an anonymous.
Dean, Phil is going to answer that question for you right now.
Well, so it was an incredible last game. There were just imagine the scene where you're in an indoor sports hall with a bit of a gallery, a balcony, and the gallery half Dunstable, half Elstow. Elstow top of the league by a mere slither of a run rate. Dunstable second in the league. It goes down to, so we managed to restrict Dunstable to 145 off their 12 overs, and we are there and thereabouts throughout. It's a very seesaw match. However,
if I can quote E. Blackadder, had it more twists and turns than a twisty-turny thing?
Unbelievable
Lord.
How twisty-turny it was.
Oh, wow.
And with 15 balls to go in, with 10 balls to go in, needed 15 runs. It was in the bag.
Phil, I think you might need to explain to people how runs are scored in indoor.
Very briefly, you score more runs in indoor because you score 2 runs for the batsman crossing, and you score 1 run for hitting the side walls or ceiling, and 4 or 6 for the back wall. Obviously there's a few more runs in indoor cricket, but if you get 15 off 10 balls, you're pretty much guaranteed. But we had a very fearsome bowler called Brad Matthews bowling up against us. He bowled a very, very tight last over. We needed 10 from 5 balls. We should have still done it. Those 10 from 5 balls turned into 10 from 3 balls. We were up against it. Those 10 from 3 balls then turned into 7 from the last ball of the game to win the game. with the solace that a 6 would have tied us the game and won us the league on run rate by a slither.
You had a really good view of this, Phil, because you were the man in possession. You had.
I was.
And let's be honest here, you're not going to do this, so allow me to. I mean, your contribution to our winning that league was fantastic. You scored lots of runs with the bat, took wickets with the ball, few crafty catches and sneaky run-outs here and there, mate. We couldn't have done it without you. And at this stage, I'd actually like to pay tribute to our indoor cricketers that won it. I mean, everyone has dug in there. Ridgey's got involved.
Dave Riddle, unbelievable,
fantastic. Dug in with some wickets as well. Dan Wiss, you can always count on Dan Wiss to squeeze runs. You've got Randy Tiara, a burgeoning talent. I mean, this guy's going to score runs for Elstow for the next 10 years. Stu Robson, fully paid up member of the Northern Fast Bowlers Union. Comes in all day, grunts a lot, moans a lot, but he's actually really, really good at what he does, and he's great for some low order runs as well. You've got Jacko that came in and played the game and did really well. We've got our captain Tom Wiss, great pedigree.
We've got a cracking. That's
a really good side. But someone missing here, mate, and it's you. And you've done a great season. Matt Stevens was there at the other end, and Matt Stevens was on strike for the final ball.
Matt Stevens was on strike for the final ball. I'd managed to retire and then come back in at the non-strike zone for the final ball. Matt Stevens needed 6 to tie the game. So all the fielders, imagine this scene, all the Dunstable fielders on the back wall.
Because that's the wicketkeeper. That's where you put.
Well, because they're trying to stop the 6 runs. That's fine. That's what happens. So Matt tries to hit the back wall. The ball is bowled. Matt tries to hit the back wall. Matt gives it everything, edges the ball into the corner. We think our time is done. 2 Dunstable fielders celebrate. The other 2 run to the stumps. The wicketkeeper runs after the ball, but of course by this time we are gathering a slim hope that we might be able to run 2.
And bear in mind, Phil, it is the hope that kills you.
It is the hope that kills us. So I ran, and I just said to Matt just to keep running. And the wicketkeeper, the Dunstable wicketkeeper, Simpkins, ran after the ball. He picked up the ball. Matt was coming back for the second run. I'd nearly overlapped him. I was that excited, and he froze. The Dunstable wicketkeeper froze. He had the ball in his hand. He didn't know what to do. All he needed to do was keep hold of it and walk up to the wicket and take the bails off. But the pressure got the better of him.
Pressure.
He launched the ball. He missed the stumps by a whisker. Matt came in to get the second run. The ball hit the wall for an overthrow. We ran a third. We scored 8 runs off the final ball of the league season to win the county league and go through to the National Cup, where we are 3 games away from playing at Lords. It was the most incredible finish to a league season ever.
I'm really sorry I didn't have any incidental music to accompany that story, because that was great. That was really good. Some sort of theme from Indiana Jones or something like that. That would have been. I think that would have been a good backdrop.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But one word, huzzah!
Huzzah! Absolutely fantastic. Well done, Elstow. We are county champions for the second time in 3 years.
Second time in 3 years.
Not bad for a little old village, I think. So well done, everyone. And as you say, the chance to have a go at getting to Lords next winter. Here we go.
Tried to get Indiana Jones, didn't work.
Good on you, mate.
Can I just put a shout out to the indoor second team, ably run by Paul Jackson, doing very well. I believe their first equal in the league need to win their second in the league need to win their final game to guarantee promotion.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Jeffrey. Well done, that man. Jacko's Giants have played fantastically well, and they are 1 game away from going up, which that would represent a fantastic
incredible.
triumph.
They're just
not only winning the Bedfordshire Crown, but also getting promoted as well. That's fantastic. I mean, that's what we're trying to do here, isn't it? It's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, so kudos to Jacko and Matt, who's played down there, Reedy, Jiffrey, and the kids. God love them. You got Sam Flynn, Jack Flynn, Ravi Gowson. Those guys have been stars for us this year, haven't they?
They have, and let's not forget they were promoted to the 3rd division.
Yeah.
From last season.
Under your tutelage.
Well, indeed.
Yeah.
And they look like they're going to get up again, which would be great. And then we'll have 2 teams in the top 2 divisions. Wonderful.
We're getting there. We are getting there. Quickly, what else are we trying to achieve before we move on to more matters that are not necessarily Elstow Cricket Club innovative? We're looking to raise lots of money. We decided upon this. We need 50 grand. So Roman Abramovich, if you're listening, we could do with some new pitches built and nets
or maybe
a new ground. Actually,
Dean from Abu Dhabi sounds like he might be.
He would know people, wouldn't he?
He would.
He would.
Dean, Abu Dhabi.
If you're listening,
thank you for your email. And if you're listening, if you know of anybody that might be able to donate just a few thousand that will be able to go to an incredible cause, please get in touch again.
Anyway, I think we've probably done the Elstow Cricket to death there. Let's talk about stuff that people probably. I don't know. Anyway, what do you think Dean of Abu Dhabi is tuned in for?
I reckon.
Has he tuned in to listen to the sort of heroics of the indoor season? And
I think first and foremost it might have been Ronnie Renard, but secondly, I think what about what's going on at the minute in cricket? I mean, international cricket.
We're going to talk about the World Cup. At this point, I'm just going to defer to you chaps. I've not seen a ball bowled because I've cancelled my Sky subscription. Jeffrey, your boys are doing all right, though, aren't they? The mighty Kiwis.
I must admit, I don't. There's not many better games to have watched than Australia v New Zealand at Eden Park.
Why was that, Jeff?
What a game!
Okay.
Well, first of all, the result was wonderful. Second of all, it had everything: drama, runs, wickets, everything from the off.
A bit of feistiness.
Oh, absolutely, mate.
Kiwis,
there was some testicular fortitude.
Oh, there was some.
There was some intestinal fortitude. There was some forearm fortitude.
There was some forearm fortitude.
Did anyone pronounce the vowel as they should have done though? That's what people really want to know.
Stick it up your arse. It was just what a game, quite frankly.
Brendan McCullum is one of the best men in the world.
Well, you can have good cricketers, and we all love our good cricketers. We all love our Bradmans, our Sachin Tendulkars, these chaps. They're all wonderful. But B-Mac, Brendan McCullum, what just a wonderful...
He's a genuinely great bloke as well. Like, that's the thing.
We need to come clean on this, actually, because he is the only international captain. God knows we've tried to get international captains to pose in the Elstow shirt, but he is the only international captain to be seen in an Elstow Cricket Club shirt
ever.
And for that alone, this guy deserves our eternal praise, gratitude, kudos.
He wore it with a smile,
didn't he?
He told me it smelled, but he wore it with a smile.
And it just adds to his allure, doesn't it?
Does it?
I mean, what a player.
He's a great
As
bloke.
a captain, he couldn't do anything wrong. When he was placing fielders, everything came off. When he was making bowling changes, everything came off. When he batted, I love the fact that Mr. Lehman, did say before the game that he wondered if Brendan McCullum could be as potent a force against some express quick bowlers such as Mitchell Johnson and Mitchell Stark. And I think Brendan actually categorically answered that question. And he also answered the question of whether he had, big enough balls to deal with, someone targeting him and hitting him. Because, quite frankly, some of the Australian players get a bit of an injury and suddenly they're not in the next game. Whereas Brendan takes one on the arm, no arm guard. It swells up like like the proverbial, and he keeps going, smacks a few more runs, puts Mitchell Johnson down through leg.
I've been through Greymouth. I know how tough they breed him down there, and that's testament to how you breed. So if he reigns in the World Cup for the land of the long white cloud, and you're going to be. I mean, the kids all over Auckland, Wellington, Abbeyfields they're going to be called Brendan, aren't they? This guy's incredible.
If we win the World Cup, I'll think of renaming my son.
Oh wow.
Quite frankly,
I will start calling him Brendan regardless.
Right.
I think it's the right thing to do.
It is. I think it's the right thing to do.
So by all accounts, then New Zealand are going to win this.
Well, I think the problem they've got is the finals at the MCG.
Yeah.
So if they get through to the final, which
If you get through to the final and it's anybody but Australia, I think you'll win it.
I think we'll have a good chance. The Indians
However,
always difficult.
No, the Indians.
They can bat, mate.
They're on
The Indians on a big
they're
field.
unbeaten.
The good thing about this World Cup for the Kiwis is that they've been playing on small fields. The Hagley Oval, the concrete bowl at Wellington. They're all small fields.
Yep.
Right. So it benefits fielding. Whereas, and also, but the thing is as well with the Indians is that if they get run ragged on a 90-metre AFL field at Melbourne, they're going to get knackered. They get bored.
Yeah,
they get bored.
Do you reckon if we bat first, we'll just physically they're not fit enough.
They're not fit enough, and they have struggled coming into this World Cup. I've got India in the World Cup sweepstake.
Now then, that reminds me of another thing, and if we may, and also the other thing I was going to add there is they can actually pay more than most other nations to get what the hell they want anyway. So, was that can of worms that just opened? Anyway, the Elstow Cricket Club sweepstake. So who's doing well out of that so far? I wasn't present.
I'm still in it.
You're still in it.
Jimmy Stubbs is the worst out of the lot because he's got England.
Oh dear, that's a shame.
Well, technically, whoever had Scotland's
Henry is the worst because he has UAE.
Yeah, but they're still in it. Scotland are out, right?
Yeah, they are. I mean, technically, we are.
Carl Kurtz, I mean, what a boy.
Yeah,
what a boy.
What
a boy.
So is he South African, Carl Kurtz, or Australian?
So he's got a Scottish accent.
He's got a real Scottish accent.
No, he plays in Northants. Him and JK are in the...
Okay, JK...
James Kettleborough, ex-Elstow indoor player.
Indoor cricketer.
Yeah, we lost, we got rid of him because he couldn't win the league with us.
Shame.
We
wish him all the best.
He's great.
JK, if you listen,
he's a great boy. He's gone to Glamorgan, though.
Yeah, they'll love him down.
But just on a little point on that McCullum thing. Sorry, before we go on. Sorry, Henry. If only England could take a little leaf out of somebody else's book rather than just thinking about what they're going to do themselves. McCullum and New Zealand going for it, just absolutely thinking, right, well, the pressure is on us. We're in our home ground. We have got so much to lose. But just going, you know what? We are just going to go for it. We're just going to give it a go and just go for it. And England are just
Phil, the problem you've got here, and this is a subject for another time, is that we don't breed captains in this country, and we could spend a whole 2 hours. We could spend a whole week talking about
the attitude.
It is, and we are so overcoached in this country that no one is allowed to think for themselves, and sadly. That's where we're going. Anyway, we're not here to discuss that because we could, like I say, spend a whole fortnight on that and chuck in a couple of bank holidays as well. What we're going to talk about very briefly is the Elstow sweepstake. I've been absolutely snookered. Who drew me out? Who got me UAE? Was it Greg?
We had about 3 or 4 pints in the line before, but there were several. And in fact, I'll tell you exactly who drew you because whoever was not present was drawn out by one and only Mr. Vice President S. Johnson.
Oh, good Lord, well, Stephen.
So I've got Steve to blame for Bangladesh.
No, yes, Steve, good call, mate. Good call.
I'm still in it, though. Still in it.
He did laugh, though.
Good call. So who's got Australia?
Edward Wisson, your brother.
He would do, wouldn't he? He would do. So Edward's got Australia. Who's got India?
I might have India.
Okay.
Cheeky Phil.
Pakistan?
Goes well.
Randy loves it. Anyone out there wants to give Randy a few words on the subject? He's a big supporter of Pakistan.
He's really rooting for them in this World Cup.
Shahid Afridi's favourite cricketer.
Who had Sri Lanka?
Good question. Pass. Don't know.
Okay. Matt Stevens must have had it.
Matt Stevens had Sri Lanka.
Did he? Okay. West Indies?
Irrelevant. I really hope, and this is just one last thing about the World Cup because I really hope West Indies go out at the expense of Ireland because Ireland deserve to get through.
At the moment, Pakistan, it could get interesting between Pakistan, West Indies, and Ireland, right? It could come down to net run rate.
Yeah, but Ireland's run rate are dreadful because Evie de Villiers scored 1,000 against them off 20 balls.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, that's true.
Extraordinary. He must have run a few weights like we did in indoor cricket. Anyway, so World Cup covered. Before we move on,
Hang on. We could go on for a long time about
we're
how
not
good
going
New
to go
Zealand
for a
are
long
at this
time.
World Cup.
Thank you.
We're not.
We've kept short.
We will revisit New Zealand in a moment. But very briefly, I think if we can sort out the next matter, we could probably be entrusted with sorting out the crisis in Ukraine. But international cricket minnows, what's going on? The ICC, I mean, they are contemptuous people of the best of times.
Well, I'll tell you what,
and yet, you know,
what it is,
to further add to that, they are looking to chuck out the smaller sides like Scotland, the Islands, and Zimbabwe as a competition. So the next World Cup could be of 10 teams. So what are they going to do? They're just going to have
it will
10
be
teams
it is of 10
play each
teams.
other for 6 weeks.
This is what I thought.
Forever,
Andrew, I thought
like
that
a really
I
badly
thought,
thought
because
out soap opera.
because
I don't
England
get
haven't
it.
played a game for 9 days or something like that.
It's ridiculous.
And I thought, they're going to get 10 teams because they want to make the World Cup shorter. In fact, the next World Cup is going to be longer than this current World Cup with less teams. And the only reason for that is for one reason only, and
Greed.
it is
Money,
no,
greed.
it is India.
Of course it's India. Mr. Srinivasan, if you are listening to our humble podcast, please resign and please just stop. Just come on, give the game back to people that care about cricket, because frankly you don't. All we care about is your pockets and stuff like that. And I sound very much like a man who's tucked into far too much good Tempranillo. Anyway,
nice.
So let's talk about New Zealand's finest blind Italian, Daniel Luca Vittori. Phil,
Danny Gaga, what a player.
Phil, what?
No, something problem. Time Hop is a little app that links to your social media, and apparently 5 years ago today, I messaged saying that Daniel Vittori is an absolute hero. Now, if any of you listening out there can tell me why 5 years ago today, on the 6th of March, 5th of March, 6th of March, that he was a hero, then please tell me, because I can't remember. But I know every day that he's a hero.
Being a Kiwi, I should probably know that. But hey, he's a fellow Hamiltonian.
Really?
Hamilton,
Then you should definitely know it.
City of the future.
It is, apparently. I thought it was Milton Keynes, but apparently it's not. Anyway, any other business, gents, before we wrap up this long and rambling road of a
I'd like to be able to say how much we've all appreciated the Beige Brigade podcast, and congratulate them on their 200th
200
podcast.
200 not out.
200 not out as Jeff moves on seamlessly to the Shiraz there.
It's just incredible, and they're working in the beige caravan.
We've got a man in that camp, haven't we? I mean, Paul Ford is our vice president
of Elstow Crew Club.
Yeah, good on him. So yeah, good on you, because our boys. Let's be honest, Phil. I mean, we're not going to win, are we? So who are we back in this World Cup?
Well, England are probably going to go out to Bangladesh on Monday, so we're going to back New Zealand.
Love to see New Zealand to win. Love to see New Zealand.
I nearly put a bet on for New Zealand to win the Rugby and Cricket World Cups this year, and I didn't.
Anyway, any other business?
What a shout!
Any other business?
Well, we could crap on about New Zealand all night, couldn't we?
It's such a lovely country. They produce such great wines, and their people are all really friendly, and the climate there is very interchangeable, and it's lovely scenery.
Yeah, no,
we really could. I love New Zealand.
I'm just looking forward to summer. To be honest, it's starting to get lighter in the mornings and in the evenings, and I think we're all just looking forward to.
It's spring has sprung, mate. I saw some lambs out in the field today.
I think the least said about that, the better from you, New Zealand. Have you got any other business to give us, Jeff?
Well, I did think about saying, it's great to see some of the youngsters coming out to nets. I'd love to see more of Miller Woskett there. Yeah. Sam Flynn, Ashley White, Jack Flynn, Dan Tind.
Fantastic.
All going to be good chaps to have coming along.
Fantastic. Well, we got to 85 listeners last time. I would be amazed if we could get to that anywhere near that this time. We've all had far too much wine, and we've had far too much fun. And so to play us out, and we've paid a lot of money for this, for the naming rights. It is friend of the Friend of the Feckers? Friend of the Feckers. Conway Twitty, the late great Conway Twitty, is going to sing us out tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend.
Good night.
And we will see you when you're older.
Cheers, Blue.
I see the sparkling little diamond on your hand. It's plain to see that you already got a man. I can tell you I see the wonder in your eyes. Deep in your smile, there's a quiet